All right, let's jump right in, shall we? We've got a real humdinger of a match to dissect today, folks. Liverpool, 2-1 over Chelsea at Anfield, and boy, oh boy, was it a cracker.
Absolutely. A real top of the table clash, two new managers, and a whole lot of tactical intrigue.
Exactly. And we're going to get into all of it, right? We've
Yeah.
got match reports, tactical breakdowns, you name it. So we'll try and make sense of it all for you.
It really was a fascinating match from, a tactical perspective, right? You've got Arne Slot at Liverpool, known for his innovative approach, and Enzo Maresca at Chelsea, same deal.
A real chess match, wouldn't you say?
You could feel the tension right from kickoff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Liverpool, top of the table, Chelsea hot on their heels, and, the new managers just add another layer to it all, right?
Definitely. Everyone was eager to see how Slot's Liverpool would match up against Maresca's Chelsea, especially since both teams, they had relatively easy schedules leading up to this, so it was a real test.
A real test of their title credentials, you could say. And Chelsea, well, they certainly came out with a surprise, didn't they? That 3-2-2-3 formation.
Bold move by Maresca, that's for sure. The idea was to overload Liverpool's midfield, create numerical superiority in key areas. They basically formed a midfield box, pushing Malagusto high up alongside Cole Palmer.
Trying to control the tempo, dictate play.
Exactly.
And for a while there, it seemed to be working. Chelsea had more possession, more touches in the final third. They even set a record. I mean, this is unheard of at Anfield, right?
Yeah.
Record high pass completion rate for an away team, 88.1%.
Really shows how comfortable they were on the ball. But that stat also begs the question, were they maybe, I don't know, too focused on possession, like at the expense of direct attacking?
Good point. It's one thing to have the ball, but are you actually doing anything with it?
Oh, right.
Right? And speaking of threats, we got to talk about Mo Salah. The man is on fire. 5 goals and 5 assists in just 8 matches. It's like,
He's playing with a real predatory instinct.
He's-
And Liverpool knew that, right? They targeted Chelsea's high defensive line, repeatedly sending those long balls over the top for Salah to chase, trying to exploit the space behind Gusto.
and it worked. That high line, it left Chelsea vulnerable, and Salah, well, he made them pay. Not just with his goal, the penalty, but also with that assist to Curtis Jones for the winner. Talk about a performance, huh?
Oh, Jones was everywhere.
He won a penalty, although VAR later overturned it, scored the winning goal, recovered the ball 6 times, created 2 chances. He is the engine driving Liverpool forward.
A real coming-of-age performance from Jones. He's showing everyone he's that dynamic, box-to-box midfielder every team wants.
Yeah, and it really speaks to the quality of Liverpool's youth development, right?
Yeah.
The depth they have in midfield. But here's the thing. Even with Salah's brilliance and Jones's energy, Liverpool, they didn't really find their groove early on. They struggled to complete those long passes to Salah, and, well, Chelsea seemed to have the upper hand.
Yeah, I think the turning point was Diogo Jota's injury. Unfortunate for him, but it brought Darwin Núñez into the game.
And that substitution, oh man, it changed everything. Suddenly Liverpool had this raw, untamed energy up front.
Núñez, he's a bit of a polarizing figure, but you can't deny he brought this relentless directness to Liverpool's attack. His runs in behind, they stretched Chelsea's defense and disrupted their rhythm. It's not a stretch to say he was the catalyst for their first goal.
Maresca definitely felt that shift in momentum. He made, 4 substitutions early in the second half, all within the first 8 minutes. It felt like he was trying to inject some chaos, disrupt Liverpool's flow.
A tactical gamble, you might say, and it did create a period of uncertainty. But ultimately, Chelsea just couldn't create enough clear-cut chances. And Cole Palmer, he had a surprisingly quiet game.
Yeah, after all the pre-match hype, you'd expect more. Just 1 chance created, which is unusual for a player of his, creative ability.
Hard to say for sure whether it was Liverpool's tactics that stifled him or if he was just having an off day.
Right. So we've talked about Chelsea's formation, their early control, Liverpool's key players, the turning point. I think it's time to delve deeper into this tactical battle between Slot and Maresca. What does this game tell us about both teams?
Absolutely. Tons to unpack here. This wasn't just about the result. It was a clash of philosophies, a real window into the future of the Premier League.
You know what really struck me? How high Chelsea pushed their fullbacks, especially Reece James and Malagusto. It was like they were playing as wingers.
Oh, yeah, that's classic Maresca. He really encourages his fullbacks to bomb forward, join the attack, create those overloads out wide, stretch the opposition.
But doesn't that leave them exposed at the back? I mean, that's how Liverpool targeted Salah with those long balls over the top, right?
Exactly. It's a high risk, high reward kind of thing. When it works, it's devastating. But it requires a lot of discipline, awareness from the defenders, and against a player like Salah. Any lapse in concentration, and he'll make you pay.
Makes you wonder if maybe, Chelsea's attacking ambition, maybe it came at the cost of defensive solidity. I mean, they were clearly comfortable on the ball, right? That record high pass completion rate proves that. But maybe they were, I don't know, a bit too focused on possession, like almost trying to walk the ball into the net.
Yeah, interesting point. It's like they were stuck between two styles, right? They wanted to control the game with possession, but also be direct, incisive going forward.
So the question is, can they find that balance
Mm-hmm.
between, the attacking flair and the defensive pragmatism? Because if they want to challenge for the title, they can't be so open at the back.
Absolutely. It's a fine line, and it's something Maresca's going to have to figure out. Maybe instill a bit more pragmatism,
Right.
drop a bit deeper when they need to.
Especially against a team like Liverpool, who are so deadly on the counter. You can't give Salah an inch or he'll punish you. But, talking about Liverpool, they just seemed, I don't know, more cohesive than Chelsea, right? Like, there was a real difference in their chemistry, their understanding.
I think you're spot on. Liverpool, they've kept that core group of players from last season, and the new signings, they've slotted in really well. There's a clear understanding there. They know their roles, they trust each other, everyone's pulling in the same direction.
Whereas Chelsea, well, they've got all these new faces, right? Still
Mhm.
trying to gel. You could see moments where it felt, I don't know, a, a bit disjointed, like they weren't quite on the same wavelength.
Yeah, exactly. Chemistry takes time. It's not something you can just, flip a switch and it's
Yeah.
there. You need those shared experiences, the wins, the losses. And Chelsea, they're still early in that process.
And it's funny, right? Because both managers have such distinct styles. You've got Slot, all about control, efficiency, and then there's Maresca with that focus on fluid, attacking football. It's like a clash of styles, a battle for the soul of the Premier League.
Huh. That's one way to put it. And it'll be fascinating to see how these styles, evolve and adapt as the season goes on. But let's get back to Cole Palmer for a second. That quiet performance, do you think it was Liverpool's tactics or just an off day for him?
Well, Liverpool definitely targeted him in the second half,
Mm-hmm.
limited his space, forced him to play deeper. But I also think he struggled with the intensity of the game, the physicality.
He's still young, finding his feet at a new club. Consistency, that comes with experience. And let's be honest, playing at Anfield, that's a baptism of fire for any young player.
So maybe it's too early to judge. But, I mean, this match definitely raised some questions, right? Like, can he consistently deliver against a top team?
It did. And it also highlighted the challenges Chelsea face. Integrating all these new signings, finding that balance between attack and defense.
So should Chelsea be worried after this loss, I mean?
Well, a loss is never good, right? Especially against a rival like Liverpool. But I wouldn't panic just yet. They showed flashes of quality, but yeah, some vulnerabilities too. It was a learning experience for sure for Maresca and the players. It showed them what they need to work on if they want to, compete at the highest level.
So back to the drawing board for Chelsea. Liverpool, well, they march on at the top of the table. But hey, there's a lot of football left to play, right? This Premier League season, it's going to be a roller coaster.
Oh, absolutely. And we'll be here for all of it. Breaking down the tactics, the managerial decisions, the moments of brilliance. That's what makes this league so special.
Even with the loss, got to give Chelsea credit, right? They had some really bright moments, especially in that first half. Control of possession, creating chances, and that tactical setup. I mean, it was risky, sure, but definitely innovative.
No doubt. There's a lot of potential in that Chelsea squad.
Oh, yeah.
Young, talented players, hungry to prove themselves. But as we've been saying, they also showed some areas they need to, work on.
Those defensive vulnerabilities, yeah, those were exposed, especially on those Liverpool counterattacks. It was almost like they were so focused on attacking, they forgot about the other side of the game, right?
It's about balance, especially against a top team like Liverpool. You can't switch off for a second, or guys like Salah, they'll make you pay. And that's what it came down to in the end, I think.
Liverpool, on the other hand, they showed real composure, real maturity. They weathered that early pressure from Chelsea, waited for their chances, and then, boom, clinical.
Yeah.
They weren't always dominating the game, but man, were they efficient.
That's Slot's influence, right? He's got this team playing with discipline, structure, they're organized, patient, and when that opportunity comes, they're ruthless.
And don't forget, Liverpool were missing some key players in this one. Imagine what they'll be like at full strength.
I know, right? It's a scary thought. They look like real contenders this year. The talent, the depth, the tactical awareness, and now it seems the mental strength to go all the way.
So, big question. Should Chelsea be hitting the panic button after this? Nah, I don't think so. It's early days yet, one game, but it was a lesson for Maresca and the team. They got to learn from those mistakes, tighten up defensively, find that balance. It'll be interesting to see how they both evolve as the season goes on. Will Chelsea adapt, become more pragmatic? Will Liverpool maintain that consistency, that intensity? We'll be diving into all that and more in future deep dives.
Looking forward to it.
This Premier League season, I gotta say, it's more exciting, more unpredictable than ever. New managers, new tactics, new stars emerging. Every week, it's a whole new set of challenges and possibilities.
Absolutely.
And on that note, that wraps up our deep dive into Liverpool versus Chelsea. A real tactical battle, clash of styles, a glimpse into the future of the Premier League.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Hope you enjoyed it, folks, and maybe learned a thing or two.
And remember, it's not just about the scoreline. It's the stories, the strategies, the individual brilliance that make football so captivating. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the beautiful game.